Thanks for joining us today. I'm CJ Craig.
And I'm Jackson Rowbottom. Thank you for watching UCentral News. Hurricane Ian has been on the horizon with Florida in its sights, and I did more research on how Floridians and the rest of the states are preparing.
The winds are racing, the trees are whipping, and the water is raging in Cuba as Hurricane Ian has made its way across the country, leaving destruction and flooding in its wake. Now, one of the places most affected by the storm is the Robina tobacco farm, one of the most famous tobacco farms in Cuba, where, as you can see, gates, buildings, power lines, and fields have all been destroyed. Now, the storm is moving away from Cuba and the Grand Cayman Island and making its way towards Florida, beelining for Tampa. The residents of Florida are lining up to prepare sandbags to stave off the flooding water that will inevitably come with the Category 3 storm. The incoming storm has prompted crews from all over the country, including Oklahoma's OG&E and their section of American Red Cross, to send volunteers, as well as the Air National Guard, to be ready to give aid when the storm does leave its mark. The storm is expected to cause enough damage that NASA is rehousing their Artemis 1 rocket and prompted Air Force Brigadier General Patty Reynolds to give this statement about the preparations of the National Guard.
The Florida National Guard has more than 3,200 soldiers and airmen on state active duty, with another 1,800 plus in the pipeline. Florida has pre-positioned Guard soldiers, airmen, and equipment at bases and armories around the state in preparation for deploying them to areas impacted by the storm. These Guardsmen will provide route clearing, search and rescue teams to support flood control and security. Aviation assets like helicopters are also on standby to assist as required.
So there's a lot going on in Florida, and we certainly hope the best for them during this time. The storm is coming their way. And there's also going to be a national impact on the weather. CJ, what do you have for us as far as what this weather is going to be doing?
That's right, Jackson. There is definitely going to be a national impact. However, we won't be feeling many of the effects here in Oklahoma. Most of that stuff is going to be localized entirely on the East Coast. However, if we were to see some change in the weather, it would mostly be winds picking up just a little bit throughout the week. But sitting here in Edmond right now, sitting at about 90 degrees under fair conditions, feeling pretty warm outside, less warm than we're used to over the past couple of weeks, which is a very big relief for the majority of us. Winds blowing southwest at about 15 miles per hour. So a little gusty out today. Might want to be aware of that if you're going out and doing anything tonight. The humidity as well is very low right now, sitting at about 21%, and it is feeling like it is 86. So overall, a very nice day here in Edmond, a perfect day to be outside, do any of the activities that you would do outside. Let's go ahead and take a look at our weather headlines for this week. We can expect colder temps throughout the week. The temperatures are going to start dropping down as we move into the weekend. We could see some lows into the 50s, which is a very good sign that fall is definitely arriving upon us, and we do have a lot of sunny weather on the horizon. So that will be something to look forward to this week. However, that's all I have for right now. With the weather, I'm going to throw it back to Jackson at the desk.
Thank you very much, CJ. Now, the American Red Cross is advising those in Florida to prepare for Hurricane Ian using the following steps. They say to move your furniture to higher floors of your home and to bring anything that can be blown away inside. Red Cross advises that families have emergency kits prepared as well. And also, students, make sure you're aware of whose cars you get into. An Edmond student reported to police that a man stopped and offered them a ride to school, and Edmond detectives were able to ID the man and interview them. Although nothing bad happened this time, this is usually not the case. So make sure you have a ride to and from campus and never get into a stranger's car.
And we've also got an update on the police officer involved in a motorcycle accident here in Edmond just a couple of days ago. Sergeant Joe Wells has already been through one surgery and has multiple still ahead. Doctors are saying right now that he's on full life support and his condition is critically injured. If any more details come out, we'll be sure to update you here at UCentral.
And Governor Kevin Stitt held a press conference today in front of the state capitol to tackle the state's grocery tax. The governor calls for the end of the state's grocery tax in order to help Oklahomans with lower income. In a tweet, Stitt calls for action, saying, "I'm once again calling for action on inflation relief to help Oklahomans hurt by Biden's inflation. Now is the time to eliminate the state grocery tax." Lawmakers will meet tomorrow for a special session.
And students in North Virginia are seen walking out to protest Governor Youngkin's proposed restrictions on transgender students' rights. Those restrictions would force students to use the restroom, pronouns, and names based on their official school record and limits sports teams to gender assigned at birth. These walkouts are part of a larger pushback nationwide to oppose the multiple anti-LGBTQ policies in place in schools.
And the Pacific Legal Foundation has filed a lawsuit against the U.S. Department of Education in order to stop President Joe Biden's student loan cancellation plan of more than $500 billion. Pacific Legal Foundation believes that it's flagrantly illegal for the executive branch to create a $500 billion program by press release and without statutory authority, or even the basic notice and comment procedure for new regulations. Back in August, Biden said that the U.S. government would forgive up to $20,000 in student loan debts, keeping one of his 2020 election promises.
And we are still witnessing new effects of the power outages that were seen last week throughout campus. Computer outages at UCO haven't just affected the prospect of people's grades, but the ability of some students to actually pay their bills on time.
Having systems like UConnect and D2L down affected my ability to pay my tuition on time, because while I did pay it on the correct day, it did show up as late the next day. But what I did is I contacted the bursar office, and they were able to put me on a list and correct the error on their end.
And if you had a late fee added due to the outage, you can contact the bursar's office via email at bursar@uco.edu. That's bursar@uco.edu.
And voters will head to the polls on Tuesday, November 8th, and UCentral News will be there once again with the full coverage. In preparation for election coverage, UCO's Mass Communications Department is hard at work in preparation for keeping the UCO community informed. UCentral's Mari Blair has more.
This might look like a typical college classroom, but it's actually a gathering of experienced video news students. Dr. Desiree Hill's video news production class is busily preparing for election night coverage set for November 8. Early in the semester, the students conducted an informal, non-scientific survey of 152 UCO students and used the results to develop the top 5 issues of most importance to the UCO community. UCO professional media major Kendall Walton provided some insight on the top issue.
And in order of top issues, top 5 issues, starting at number 1, was the economy, gas prices, rent, inflation, food prices.
Along with the economy are abortion, education, gun laws, and social justice. As for what the class hopes to accomplish on election night, Walton is optimistic.
So with our top 5 issues, we're hoping to really focus on what the UCO family wants to talk about and know about. So with election night, we're hoping to not only interview these candidates that are running for office and what their stance are on these topics, but we're also wanting to highlight these topics in a way that will inform people properly enough that they feel confident in going into the voting booth.
Oh my gosh, Osama.
From the UCO campus in Edmond, I'm Mari Blair.
I don't know if I had a soundbite. We had.
And thanks, Mari. Well, we're almost to October now.
That's right, and temperatures are finally dropping.
So don't go anywhere. I'll have your full forecast coming up right after this. Stay tuned.
Sometimes the things we do or say can make others feel hurt, excluded, or isolated. Everything you say and do creates an impact.
How am I supposed to save the whole world?
You can't think about saving the world. You have to think about saving one person.
Because of you, someone's entire life can change. You don't have to be a superhero to have a positive impact.
Friends?
Friends.
Hey Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Do clouds take naps?
I couldn't tell you.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look!
Welcome back to UCentral News. And if you're anywhere in Oklahoma today, you will be aware that we are seeing some cooler temperatures than what we've been having the past couple of weeks, dropping down significantly from the 95 to 100 degree weathers that we've had over the past couple of weeks. As you can see right here, sitting in majority of the state, sitting mostly cool. Oklahoma City sitting at 90 degrees. Diamond up there as well with Woodward and Clinton. Down in Altus, down in the southern part of Oklahoma, that is where we're going to see some of the higher temperatures. However, that is going to change very soon. Let's go ahead and take a look at your lows for tonight here in Edmond. Sitting at about 61 degrees under clear skies. Winds are going to die down just a little bit, blowing south at about 5 to 10 miles per hour. And the humidity is going to remain relatively the same from what we've seen today, about 20%. So not very humid outside, not a lot of moisture in the air. Let's go ahead and take a look at the lows around the state of Oklahoma tonight. And as you can see, we see those number fives up there. That means we're going down into the 50-degree weather, meaning that fall is upon us right here. Oklahoma City sitting at about 61 as our low tonight. All the way up there in the north in Diamond and Miami, 51, almost down to 49. So obviously it's going to be much colder than what we've had over the past couple of weeks around the state of Oklahoma. Let's go ahead and take a look at tomorrow's highs for you. And it's a lot of the same as we've been seeing today. Oklahoma City sitting at about 88. A lot of 80s around the state. Most of the 90s are going to be isolated into the southern part of Oklahoma, down where that heat dome is more prevalent. Let's go ahead and take a look at your daily forecast for you coming up here in Edmond. Tomorrow morning is going to be a cool 62 degrees at 7 a.m. For your commute to work. And then going into noon, that's when we're going to heat up just a little bit up to 79 degrees. And then 7 p.m. when the sun starts setting, that's when we're going to see our hottest temperatures of the day, about 82 degrees. Let's take a look at your 7-day forecast coming up here. And it is a lot of 80-degree weather days that we have ahead, and it's a lot of sun. As you can see, going into the weekend, we are going to drop down into the 50s for the lows, and we're going to relatively remain the same, about 84 throughout next week. So that's all I have for weather. I'm going to throw it back over to Jackson. Jackson?
Thank you very much, CJ, for the weather update. But don't go anywhere. Social media is going to be right after this with UCO's Lauren Henry. You won't want to miss it.
Back and change it all. I would. I think I'm gonna miss you the most. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Maybe it's just the little moments. If I could go back and change it all, if I could go back, I would. But I can't.
You can achieve a lot using your imagination. I mean, I don't like to brag, but wait, who's that? And why is she all over these achievement awards? But with STEM, the sky's the limit. Shaboom! Use STEM to envision. Okay, I'm seeing it. Yeah. Invent.
Got any ideas?
I've got a few, actually. And create a better world.
Told you she's super smart.
If she can STEM, so can you. Find out more at She Can STEM.
In the land of wonder and awe, you won't believe you see what you saw. Where there's something to do for young and for old, where stories are written and then they're retold. Visit Travelok.com today. Come see for yourself and come out to play.
If you like Rihanna, you're going to want to hear this. Rihanna has announced she will be performing at the Super Bowl of 2023. The singer took to Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, posting what looks to be her tattooed arm holding a football. Fans flooded the comment section with their excitement for the singer's return. Rihanna stopped touring back in 2016 and has not had a live performance since 2019. This will also be her first time performing at the Super Bowl and her first performance since giving birth to her first child with fellow singer A$AP Rocky. The other performers have not yet been announced. And guess what else is on the horizon? Nintendo's The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. This new game will be called The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom and will be available for gameplay on the Nintendo Switch. The release date is set for May 12th, 2023. What's more, you can redeem your Nintendo Platinum points for a printable pop-up card and wallpaper of Kirby's Dream Buffet. It's only 30 points. Plus, if you don't want a hard copy, Nintendo users can download the card. Nintendo will also be releasing a Kirby keychain soon that users can purchase using their My Nintendo Platinum points. The DC League of Super Pets is now streaming on HBO, and viewers can access the movie through HBO Max. Voiced by actors like Dwayne Johnson, Kevin Hart, Keanu Reeves, and Kate McKinnon, the movie about Superman's super dog crossed $185 million in the worldwide box office and received a 73% on Rotten Tomatoes. Also, a childhood story is hitting the big screens. Singer Shawn Mendes will be starring as the voice of Lyle Crocodile in the new movie Lyle, Lyle, Crocodile that is going to be released exclusively in theaters on October 7th. Tickets are available for purchase now, and the soundtrack is available for pre-save. Plus, a 6th full episode of The House That Dragons Built is on HBO Max and free on YouTube. The show is a behind-the-scenes docu-series that explores the special effects, set design, and logistics that go into creating the Game of Thrones spin-off, House of the Dragon. Get ready, anime fans. October's about to hit, and so are the anticipated seasons of My Hero Academia, Spy Family, and much, much more. The popular show, My Hero Academia, is kicking off its 6th season and will continue to follow Deku in his journey to become the world's #1 hero. It'll be available on Crunchyroll this coming Saturday. Also, you'll want to keep an eye out for Spy Family. The show is making a comeback this Saturday as well. The second part of Season 1 will be available on Crunchyroll. Also, for all you longtime anime fans, Bleach is coming back. The 1,000-Year Blood War arc is coming back to continue following Ichigo Kurosaki and the Soul Society. The show even has its own countdown right now. There are 13 days left.
Thank you very much for that update, Lauren. And we're going to go to Patrick for the sports segment after we come back from break, where he recaps Monday Night Football and previews Broncos sports for the week. Coming up next.
Sometimes the things we do or say can make others feel hurt, excluded, or isolated. Everything you say and do creates an impact.
How am I supposed to save the whole world?
You can't think about saving the world. You have to think about saving one person.
Because of you, someone's entire life can change. You don't have to be a superhero to have a positive impact.
Friends?
Friends.
Hey, Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out?
Listen.
Do clouds take naps?
I couldn't tell you.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look!
Welcome back, Broncos fans. I'm Patrick Talbot, and this is your Tuesday Sports Update. After a huge upset over Northwest Missouri on Saturday, I caught up with head football coach Adam Dorrell to get his thoughts on the win.
Was really pleased with our performance overall. I thought it was gritty. Obviously, there's a lot of things we've got to still clean up and made some mistakes, but to beat the number 2 team in the country and to beat those guys, it's very difficult to do. I was just very proud of our players because I thought they stayed within the game plan. They believed in it. We went into the game plan knowing that we were going to need some of those turnovers. We really talked to our team about that going into that game, and I thought our guys did a fantastic job of pressuring the quarterback and get him to throw some balls up.
And a Monday Night Football now, where Dallas Cowboys are still without their starting quarterback, Dak Prescott, as they travel to New York to face the division rival in the Giants. Cowboys defense made quarterback Daniel Jones' life miserable all night, sacking him 5 times and pressuring him 24 times. Dallas quarterback Cooper Rush, however, held his own, completing 21 of his 31 passes with no turnovers and 1 touchdown. And check out this amazing play from former Oklahoma Sooner wide receiver C.D. Lamb.
Big clock near 1. Corner of the end zone. Lamb, one-handed try. He got it. Touchdown, Lamb. What a catch. What a throw. And the Cowboys back on top.
That touchdown would prove to be pivotal for the Cowboys as it put them up 23-16. The Cowboys moved to 2-1 on the year, and they welcome the Washington Commanders to Jerry World on Sunday, 12 p.m. on Fox. And bad news for the New York Giants as former Sooners wide receiver Sterling Shepard was carted off the field last night after the last play of the game in Monday night's loss to the Dallas Cowboys. Sources confirmed Tuesday morning that Shepard suffered a torn ACL on a non-contact play. Shepard, who has been hampered by injuries in his short NFL career, will be sidelined for the remainder of the season. And President Joe Biden welcomed the 2021 World Series champs, the Atlanta Braves, to the White House yesterday. The Braves presented the president with an honorary World Series jersey with Biden's name on the back and the number 46 symbolizing the 46th presidency.
You made the playoffs and beat the Brewers and the Dodgers, and then you beat the Astros to win it all, forever known as the upset kings of October.
And with a 44-45 record at the All-Star break, the Braves had just a 7.3% chance to make the playoffs and a less than 1% chance to win the World Series. Upset kings in October, indeed.
Pujols sends one in the air. It's deep to left. Taylor's back at the wall. It's 700. Albert Pujols.
And Albert Pujols making history this past weekend as he blasted 2 home runs in Friday night's game against the Dodgers. Pujols is the 4th player ever to reach the 700 mark, joining all-time greats including Barry Bonds, Hank Aaron, and Babe Ruth. A truly historical feat, but unfortunately that's all the time we have for sports today. Let's go ahead and send it back to Jackson and CJ at the desk.
Thanks, Patrick. And coming up after this, we'll have some more news and one last look at weather coming up. Stay tuned.
If I could go back and change it all, I would. I think I'm gonna miss you the most. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Maybe it's just the little moments. If I could go back and change it all, if I could go back, I would. But I can't.
You can achieve a lot using your imagination. I mean, I don't like to brag, but wait, who's that? And why is she all over these achievement awards? But with STEM, the sky's the limit. Shaboom! Use STEM to envision. Okay, I'm seeing it. Yeah. Invent.
Got any ideas?
I've got a few, actually. And create a better world.
Told you she's super smart.
If she can STEM, so can you. Find out more at She Can STEM.
In the land of wonder and awe, you won't believe you see what you saw. Where there's something to do for young and for old, where stories are written and then they're retold. Visit travelok.com today. Come see for yourself and come out to play.
Welcome back to UCentral News, and to the joy of many Oklahomans, me included, we are finally starting to reach those fall temperatures that we have been clamoring for so long. As you can see, coming up for your 7-day forecast, today is going to be the hottest day of the week, sitting at about 90 degrees, and it's all downhill from there. Going into the weekend and next week, we are going to see mostly mid-80 degree temperatures, as well as some 50 degree lows as well going into next week. So definitely fall is on its way. We are definitely going to be in the throes of the cooler weather as we start to progress throughout this week. And that's your final look at weather. I'm going to throw it back over to Jackson at the desk.
Thank you very much, CJ, for that last look at weather. NASA successfully completed its double asteroid redirection test yesterday. The DART spacecraft flew into an asteroid at 14,000 miles per hour. Over the coming weeks, scientists will be calculating the change in the asteroid's path to confirm if the experiment worked according to the plan. It was the first planetary defense mission in the world, and scientists hope they can use it to shift asteroids off their path if they are headed toward Earth in the future. And did you get to check out the sky last night? Jupiter reached its closest position to Earth in 59 years yesterday, and it coincided with another event called opposition, where the planet is on the opposite side of Earth, making it appear bigger and brighter. These events won't coincide again until the year 2129. And that weather, I'm happy to say, is finally going down as we're making our way into the deeper part of the fall.
That is definitely right. I know a lot of us around here have been very tired of the 90-plus degree days that we've had. It's starting to feel like summer part 3, here in Oklahoma. But we are starting to see some more fall temperatures emerging as that jet stream starts to come down. So we should be in the clear for the most part coming up as we move into October.
I'm excited to hear that, and that is going to do it for us here on UCentral News Today. I'm Jackson Rowbottom.
And I'm CJ Craig.
And we wish you a good night. Stay safe, everyone.